Sean, is President Trump going to do a mass pardon of January 6th felons, or not? And if he does, is there a big political downside to that?
So I think that every indication that I have gotten, and no one has been, I mean, you haven't heard any attempt to dissuade this narrative. So I think on day one, you're going to see, my guess is a mass pardon. There has been no signal from anyone down there that that's not going to happen. And the expectation is that it will. So I would be shocked if there is not.
And do you think that there'll be political damage to the administration from it, or does Hunter Biden give Donald Trump a get out of jail free card, so to speak?
I think it gives him, it helps him. And I think there'll be such a flurry of things going on day one, that you'll get the MSNBC chatter, but I'm not sure that it's going to rise to it'll be one of 5, 6 stories that happens, because you'll have some stuff on mass deportations and some other priorities that will be very newsy. So my guess is that their hope is bury this with 5 or 6 other things and hope that you get the left-leaning chatter and that's it.
But you saying it will net help him under those circumstances, or you didn't say that?
No, I didn't say that. I don't think it net, but I think that they've raised the bar to a point where if you don't do this, the folks on the right would be, taken back that it didn't happen. So I think that they've done everything to set the bar, to set the expectation that this is going to happen. And so if you're not going to do it, you'll disappoint a very big group of the MAGA folks.
Dan, I have no doubt
I think
that
the other thing that's interesting, Mark, if I can, is just, it's interesting is that there's been a lot of discussion over the last 2-3 weeks about this is not causing the outrage on the right, right? You don't see people on the right sitting out there saying, oh my God, this is a horrible thing that he's doing. They've really normalized what's about to happen. Now, that doesn't mean that people on the left and some people in the middle or some never Trumpers aren't going to be pissed off. But I think the narrative is such that it's not as big of a deal as it would have been, say, 90 days ago.
Sean, one more, and then I want to go to Dan. Can he get away on the right exempting some of the more egregious offenders from the pardon?
My take on this is that they're going to make this a big blanket thing. And so I don't, the word get away with it. I think that you're going to throw a couple of the real bad guys in there, which is unfortunate, because I think for the folks that did assault a police officer or commit felonies like that, they're in a distinct group. And I think you could get away with a lot more, to use your phrase, if you said, okay, if you were just there, it's a misdemeanor, if it's public nuisance or something like that, you just blanket pardon those guys. But the people who committed acts of violence towards a law enforcement official are in a separate category. I just don't know that they've gone through that level of nuance.
Dan, will Donald Trump pay a political price if he mass pardons the January 6th offenders?
Yes, and I think he should. I think Sean makes the point, and I agree with them, that they're going to try to flood the zone that first 24, 48 hours with a flurry of activities and hope that the kind of tree falls and it's heard by just a few people. But there has been some polling on this. It shows that not just Democrats and not just independents, but some Republicans are pretty strongly against what may happen. And, I think Trump should pay a price. I mean, if you're going to talk about the rule of law and law and order, you can't say kind of this law and order is okay and this is not. People destroyed property, as you say. They harmed police officers. In some cases, those officers died, and they should be held accountable. And I think Trump will pay a price. And it's not just that he'll pay a price in the terms of like he pardoned them, but you are setting a tone on day one of the kind of retribution and getting even. And I think that is a little bit more dangerous in the long run for him.
I don't think it's just the Hunter Biden thing, by the way. President Biden's commutation of some very, very horrible people the other day didn't get the media attention it should have. But some of these people that were let out that had their sentences commuted are some of the most despicable human beings on earth. And yet, so again, I think between that, the BLM rioters, I think we've sort of created this thing where it's, you want to talk about our side, I'll talk about yours.
Yeah, and look, Black Lives Matters and others should be held accountable for what they did.